Hong Eunchae from SSERAFIM is no stranger to the limelight, but recently, she's been thrust into the spotlight for reasons she probably never expected. It all began during a seemingly harmless Weverse live stream in March 2023, where Eunchae made a joke about how tough it must be for students to wake up early for school. To her and many of her fans, it was just a lighthearted comment, but as is often the case in the world of K-pop, things quickly escalated. Before diving into the heart of the matter, it's important to understand the context. South Korea is known for its rigorous education system, where students, especially high school seniors, endure long hours of study to prepare for the Sunyoung, the country's college entrance exam. The pressure is immense, and the entire nation literally comes to a halt on the day of the exam. Given this context, it's no wonder that any comments perceived as trivializing the struggles of these students could stir up emotions. But was Eunchae's comment really that serious? For many, it was clear she was simply joking around with her fans, trying to lighten the mood as many idols do during live streams. However, in the world of K-pop, where idols are constantly under the microscope, even the most innocent remarks can be blown out of proportion. And that's exactly what happened. Netizens, particularly those who are students themselves, didn't take kindly to Eunchae's words. They felt that, as a young idol with a privileged lifestyle, Eunchae was out of touch with the struggles of everyday students. The backlash was swift, with many accusing her of mocking students who work tirelessly to achieve their academic goals. What started as a casual comment during a live stream quickly turned into a full-blown controversy, with some fans demanding an apology. Fast forward to August 2024, during SSERAFIM's showcase for their new mini-album Crazy, Eunchae finally addressed the controversy that had been simmering for months. In a heartfelt statement, she apologized for her previous comments, acknowledging that she didn't think deeply about her words at the time. She admitted that she had been too comfortable in the moment, forgetting that even in a space with her fans, she needed to be careful about what she said. Eunchae expressed regret for her immature behavior and promised to be more responsible in the future. Now, let's pause for a moment and think about this. Here we have a young idol who, in the middle of promoting a new album, has to take time out to apologize for something that, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't really that big of a deal. Sure, her comment might have rubbed some people the wrong way, but was it really worth all the outrage? This situation is a perfect example of how sensitive some fans and netizens have become, especially when it comes to their idols. The truth is, idols are human. They're going to make mistakes, say things that might not always come out right, and occasionally put their foot in their mouth. But that doesn't mean they deserve to be dragged through the mud for every little slip-up. Eunchae's comment, while perhaps a bit insensitive, was far from malicious. She wasn't trying to belittle students or make light of their struggles. She was just being a teenager, joking around in the way that many of us do, yet in the hypersensitive world of K-pop, where every word and action is scrutinized, it's almost impossible for idols to avoid controversy. Fans hold their idols to impossibly high standards, expecting them to be perfect role models at all times. But that's not realistic, and it's not fair. Idols, like everyone else, are going to make mistakes, and they deserve the space to learn and grow from them without being constantly judged. Eunchae's apology, while necessary in the context of calming down the outrage, also highlights the absurdity of the situation. It's a reminder that we as fans need to take a step back and consider whether the things we get upset about are really worth our anger. In this case, it's clear that the reaction was overblown. Eunchae's comment didn't harm anyone, and it certainly didn't warrant the level of backlash it received. In fact, the controversy says more about the state of K-pop fandoms than it does about Eunchae herself. It's a reflection of how quick we are to jump on idols for the smallest things, how easily we allow ourselves to be outraged, and how much pressure we put on these young stars to be perfect. It's time to ask ourselves, are we expecting too much from our idols? And if so, what does that say about us as fans? One of the most interesting aspects of this controversy is how divided the reactions have been. On one side, you have fans who believe Eunchae needed to apologize and show more maturity. On the other side, you have those who think the backlash was completely unwarranted, that Eunchae did nothing wrong and was simply being herself. This division speaks to a larger issue within K-pop fandoms, the tendency to overreact to things that, in reality, don't matter that much. It's also worth noting that this isn't the first time something like this has happened in K-pop. Over the years, we've seen countless idols come under fire for comments or actions that, when you really think about it, weren't that serious. Whether it's a joke taken out of context, a misunderstanding, or just a simple mistake, idols are often forced to apologize and reflect on their actions, even when there's really nothing to apologize for. This constant cycle of outrage and apology is exhausting, not just for the idols, but for the fans as well. It creates a toxic environment where idols are constantly walking on eggshells, afraid to be themselves or express their true thoughts for fear of backlash. It also puts an unnecessary strain on the relationship between idols and their fans, turning what should be a supportive and positive connection into one filled with tension and fear. So where do we go from here? How do we as fans move past this culture of overreaction and allow our idols the freedom to be themselves without the constant fear of backlash? It starts with understanding that idols are people too. They're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We need to give them the space to learn and grow, just as we would want for ourselves. It also means being more mindful of how we react to things. Instead of immediately jumping to conclusions or getting angry over something trivial, take a moment to consider whether it's really worth getting upset about. In most cases, it's not. And in the case of Eunchae's comment, it definitely wasn't. In the end, this whole controversy is a reminder that we need to be more understanding, more forgiving, and less quick to judge. Idols like Eunchae are under immense pressure to be perfect all the time, but that's an impossible standard to live up to. They're going to make mistakes, and when they do, it's important to remember that they're only human. As for Eunchae, it's clear that she's learned from this experience and is committed to being more careful in the future. Her apology was sincere, and while it's unfortunate that she had to go through this ordeal, it's also an opportunity for growth. Not just for her, but for all of us as fans. So let's take this moment to reflect on our own behavior as fans. Are we too sensitive? Are we expecting too much from our idols? And if so, how can we change that? By being more understanding, more patient, and more supportive, we can create a better, healthier environment for both idols and fans alike. What do you think? Was Eunchae's apology necessary, or was the backlash completely overblown? Do you think fans are too sensitive these days, or is it important to hold idols accountable for their words and actions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more K-pop content. And while you're at it, let's also consider the bigger picture. How much are we, as fans, contributing to the pressure that idols face every day? Are we making it harder for them to be themselves, or are we supporting them in their growth and journey? It's time we ask ourselves these tough questions and make a conscious effort to be the kind of fans that lift our idols up rather than tear them down. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.